everyone, today's video is going to be very chill. I just want to play with some of my Menagerie Cosmetics single shadows and you guys wanted me to do that as well. So these are the ones that I have and some of these are duplicates. Two of the mattes down here are both from the Dragon Child palette, and the reason for that is that if you buy 12 shadows, you get a 30% discount. I think it was, it might have been 35. I think it was 30, but if you buy 12 shadows, you get a pretty big discount. So I wanted to obviously get over that, and there wasn't really any matte shadows that I felt like I didn't already have that I wanted to get. So I decided that I wanted to get some of the mattes that I really like from the other palettes, and these were the ones that I ended up picking out. Honestly, this one here from the Dragon Child palette is one of my favorite shadows of all time. This one is called Dragon Rider. It's such a beautiful blue. It stains like every other blue from Menagerie, but that's totally fine. I don't mind that. And also this Smoke 'em Out shade, which is kind of like a dark gray. It's not quite a black. It's like a very, very dark gray. I love this. And the ones that I want to use today are going to be these two. So like this chartreuse kind of lime green color, which is called Electric, I'm pretty sure. And then I also want to use this shadow right here, which is called Blue Tang. So it's almost like a blurple, like a blue purple kind of thing. And yeah, so I also have a bunch of shimmers here. I'm not going to be able to obviously try all of them, but I guess I will go ahead and swatch them because I don't think any of these shimmers are in the palette. So if you guys wanted to, you know, see what they look like, if you were interested in maybe picking up some singles from her, then I will go ahead and swatch these for you just so you can see what they look like. So I'm first going to swatch Glacier, which is a very beautiful kind of blue shade. So let's see what that looks like. Oh, that is so pretty. I love the shimmers from Menagerie. I think they are so just like unique and special. So that's Glacier. That's really, really pretty. So let's go into Caterpillar next, which is a beautiful green shadow. And this is what Caterpillar looks like. So this is pretty much just a very basic green shimmer. I don't really see any shift or anything in it. Maybe a little bit of yellow, but it's mostly just like a green shimmer, which I mean is beautiful still. Now the next one is one that I'm super interested in, and this one is called Canary, or Canary, right? As in like the bird canary. I think that's the thing, right? Oh, the struggle of English not being your first language. So let's go ahead and swatch this one too. Ooh, that's so pretty. That's like a peachy kind of yellow duochrome. That is stunning. I really want to use that shade today. Next up we have a beautiful purple here, which is called Starling Eyeshadow. And this looks to be a duochrome as well. So this is like a kind of blue lilac from what I can see. That is stunning too. We also have Croc, which is kind of like a, how would I explain this? Like an olive shimmer. Yeah, that's really pretty. Next up we have a shadow that I actually used in one of my videos previously, and this is Torrent. I think I used this in the video where I tried out the Alter Ego... what was that palette called? Daydream palette or something like that? I think that's the one. So here is what Torrent looks like. That is a beautiful, beautiful blue. Then we have another one that looks to be a duochrome. This is like an orangey kind of pink duochrome. And this one is called Plume. So here's what Plume looks like. Oh, that is so pretty too. Oh my god. Oh, I don't know what I want to do today. I just want to put all of these on my eyes, which is going to be really hard if I want to work with the mattes that I have here. And lastly, we have Lily, which is a beautiful pink. I feel like there might be some kind of a shift in this one too. Maybe like a pink yellow or something like that. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. Oh, that is so pretty. So all of these shadows are beautiful. I have no clue what I want to do with these, but I'm just gonna go ahead and prime my eyes with my MAC paint pot like I always do. So I kind of think I know what I want to do, and I think I want to use this shimmer right here and this shimmer right here. This one is tempting too, but when I look at the mattes that I have yet to try, which is really only two, so we have these two, I feel like the shimmers are going to be really nice with those. So basically these two shimmers right here with these two mattes. I don't know how it's going to end up looking, but I think I'm going to go ahead and take Electric, and I'm going to put that in the first half of my crease. So I'm just going to be very heavy-handed with this, and I'm just going to pack this into the first part of my crease here. That is so beautiful. And I'm using a very dense kind of fluffy brush to do this with. This is my Morphe, what are you called? E17 brush. So I will say it definitely goes on a lot more pigmented than when you're kind of done with the shadow. It's definitely more like a, you know, neon shadow in my opinion. Like you can pack it on, but as soon as you go in and kind of blend it out, it almost seems like it oxidizes just a slight bit. I definitely feel like you'll be able to get the chartreusiness more out of this color if you put it on top of a cut crease or something like that. But in the crease, it still looks nice and vibrant, but it's not as vibrant as you see it in the pan. Not to say it's not a pretty shadow, but you can tell now from the pan here that what I have on my eyes is not quite as vibrant as what it looks like in the pan itself. It also has a little bit of kick up, but I mean that's very normal with Menagerie mattes. So I'm next going to go into, what are you called? You were called Blue Tang. So I'm going to put this on the outer part of my eye. So I'm just going to place that right next to that first shadow that I put down, and then I'm going to use this to kind of wing the shadow out a bit as well. And I'm using one of my referral brushes to do this, which, I don't know, I kind of feel bad using these brushes when I know that you guys aren't able to buy them, but at the same time they're so good that I can't not use them, you know? But like I've said probably 100 times now, these will be available in December for individual sale. It's just that their Kickstarter has ended, so they don't currently sell these anywhere, and the ones that I have are a prototype. Oh, this shadow is so beautiful. And I'm not really sure where I'm going with this. Do I want to pull this down to my lower lash line? I'm gonna just do this eye first, and then we'll find out. So I'm going to change my mind, like I feel like I always do with my looks, but I'm gonna go ahead and take Smoke 'em Out, which was this dark gray shadow. And I'm going to take that on my same brush and just place this in my outer corners here. And just like mix that into the previous shade that I put down my crease. And I'm also going to take this down to my lower lash line here. Just gonna take that about halfway across. I always like to leave my options open if I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want to kind of close that off and not have any options for putting down a different shadow if I don't want to pull it all the way in. And this shadow is really nice if you're not a big fan of black, if you feel like black is a little bit too intense. This gray here is really, really nice, and it's easy to work with too. It's nice and pigmented, it blends really nicely, it builds very nicely. So if you're looking for a dark deepening shade that will work with pretty much anything, but you don't want a black, I would say that this is a very good option. And like I said before, this is from the Dragon Child palette, and I love this shadow. And I'm so happy that she came out with all of the singles, or all of the shadows in the Dragon Child palette as singles, since they are discontinuing that palette. Which is so sad, because the Dragon Child palette is how I found the brand and is how I fell in love with the brand, and that palette just has a special place in my heart. Honestly, I think it was the first eyeshadow palette that I reviewed on my channel as well, so I don't know, that palette is just kind of special to me. I'm going to take a little bit more of that Blue Tang shadow, and I'm going to tap off my brush, and I'm just going to make sure that the outer parts here are looking the way that I want them. And I've gotten some questions on how to do like the outer corner of your eye when you're blending, and I think it just depends on your eye shape, and I think it's something that you kind of have to play around with. For me, I like to kind of have something that's a little bit more winged out rather than super round. And I also find that there's really no like middle ground for me. Sometimes, like, I don't know, it's hard to make more of like an oval shape because I don't feel like it really suits my eyes. So either I tend to go super round, or I tend to sort of wing out my shadows a bit more. And so I think that's what I'm gonna do here. I do have a little bit of fallout from that. I think it's from the gray right here. It's not the end of the world. I think it'll wipe away. So let's just go ahead and try that, because I don't want to see that on my face. Yeah, I think this is fine. So I think this is looking the way I want it. I did pull up the shadow a little bit too higher when I first applied this. I'm going to go in with a bit of a nude colored eyeshadow just to kind of erase this. And this is just a Wet n Wild shadow. It's called Creme Brulee. And this is the only time I will ever use a nude colored eyeshadow, is to kind of erase things. So I'm just taking this on a lip brush, and I'm just running that right underneath my brow here where I felt like I over applied that blue. I'm just using this to blend the color down a little bit so that it's looking even on both sides. So I'm not really sure what I want to do next now, because what I had originally planned is just not going to look good with this look anymore because I didn't stick to the plan. So what we're gonna do is, I think I'm gonna go ahead and take the dark green shadow here, which is called Croc, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna take that because I have not used that yet, and I'm gonna put that on like the middle of my eye or so. I'm not going to layer it all the way over that gray. I just want to place it like right in the middle. I'm gonna go ahead and spray this like I always do. I just like the way that my shadows look when I do spray them. So like I said, I'm just gonna pop that right in the middle of my eye here. That is such a beautiful kind of dirty olivey green. I love that. What a nice tone for a shadow. I'm not gonna do a cut crease or anything. I haven't been in a mood to do a cut crease in such a long time, and I don't know why. Sometimes I just don't feel like doing cut creases. I'm just kind of lightly flickering this out to blend it into the outer corners of my eye here. And I'm basically stopping it where that kind of chartreuse color is in the inner part of my eye. And then I guess for the inner part of my eye here, I'm going to go into this shadow right here. I don't know exactly how that is going to look. I feel like it's going to look a little bit out of place, but since it is the lightest shade that I have here, I'm going to use... Whoa, I just dropped it and it survived, thank God. So this one was called Canary, or Canary. I don't know why that word is so hard for me. Probably because I've never said it out loud before. And I'm going to go ahead and spray this too. And I'm gonna pop that like in the first part of my lid here. I really don't feel like this is going to go together with the other shadows on my eye, but it's okay. I just want to test out this shadow. It's not that big of a deal. I do feel like this is going to be a little bit too just kind of warm tone, but it might also kind of transform depending on what shadows are around it. So we're just gonna try it. So far I actually feel like it looks pretty good with these colors. That is such a beautiful shadow though. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see the shift as well as I am, but it's definitely got a very unique like duochrome-ness to it. And just because I want to try out another shadow that I don't even think this is going to go with the look, but at this point I'm like, I don't even care. So I'm going to go into the kind of lilac-y shade here, which was called Starling Eyeshadow. I don't know if it's supposed to be just Starling. I'm not sure why it says eyeshadow on it, but we're going to go ahead and put that on the lower part of my lower lash line here. Wait, the inner part of my lower lash line. Oh wow, that is a beautiful shadow. I wish I had that all over my lid right now, because that is so stunning. Man, it's almost like it's got a bit of a yellow reflect in it. That is such a unique shadow. Like, I almost feel like this goes for the rest of the look, but then again, this whole look is very all over the place because I just wanted to try out the shadows that I wanted to try, and sometimes that happens. It kind of reminds me of, you know, drawing random shades for a palette bingo and then just kind of doing a look with it, even if they don't go together. That's how I feel right now. But that is a beautiful shadow. So I think this is all I want to do for my eyes. I am going to go ahead and finish up though, and I want to do something kind of fun in the waterline, I think. So maybe I will do Crossed by Colourpop, which is sort of like the chartreuse that we have in the inner part of the crease here. It's more of a pastel yellow though, like once you put them in the eyes or put them on the waterline, it kind of comes off more like a pastel yellow. So I'm going to pop that in the waterline, do some liner mascara, put on a lipstick, and I'll be right back and I'll talk a little bit more about these shadows and how I really feel about all of these. Okay, so here is the final look. I really like how this turned out actually, even though none of the colors really go together on paper in my opinion. Like if I were to swatch them all out next to each other, I don't think I would know what to do. This just kind of ended up like this randomly, so I think this turned out really good, and I like my lip pairing choice as well. This is from Sue of Beauty and it's called the Unconscious. And I really like this. I am currently trying to figure out like what the perfect purple lipstick to go with my hair is. You know how when I had like the kind of faded corally hair, I was using Rendezvous by Ofra all the time, and I'm trying to find like my perfect lipstick color with this hair. And I think this could be a contender, especially when I actually wash this and it fades a little bit. I feel like this might actually match really nicely. Plus I like the formula of the Suva Beauty lipsticks too. So let's talk about this, I want to say palette, but it's not really a palette. It's just like, let's talk about these singles. So I will say that I love the shimmers in this. They're just so beautiful. All of the shimmer. I love all of the shimmers from Menagerie. Some of them are a little bit just chunky and hard to work with, but I didn't feel like any of these were that, and I love that about them. So far I'm really happy with all of these shimmers. I haven't tried all of them, but I've tried most of them. The only shadow that I was a little bit not iffy on, but it's not my favorite, is this electric shade. I feel like it comes off a little bit different on the eyes than it does in the pan. Here it's definitely a lot more bright and vibrant, and then when you put it on the eyes, it's almost like it oxidizes a little bit and it loses a bit of its intensity, but I'm not really like surprised by that just because of the nature of that kind of shadow. Like a very kind of bright neon shadows just kind of do that, so not really surprised at all, but it's not like it performed badly. It just kind of did what every other shadow that's like that does, if that makes any sense. So I still really like it. I think it's a very unique shadow. It's not a kind of shadow that I have in my collection, so I am like kind of obsessed with this look, honestly. I think that turned out really good. So yeah, let me know if you have any other questions about any of the Menagerie shadows. I do have, I want to say, most of them now. I do have all the palettes, plus I have these singles. So if there's any shadows on her website that you want me to swatch or whatever, you can always DM me on Instagram or ask me any questions you have there. I'll leave my Instagram on the screen if you're not already following me. But yeah, like I said, I do have most of her shadows. So if there's any that you are ever wondering about, please feel free to ask me and I can happily answer. So that's going to be it for today's playtime. I hope you enjoyed me just kind of sitting down and having some fun with a brand of eyeshadows, because it's just fun, you know? That's what I like to do on my channel. So thank you for watching. If you want to see some more kind of fun videos, I will pop some up on the screen for you. And if you're new to my channel somehow, I'd love it if you would consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next one.